learning today. Go over some concepts, especially with new people. So, awesome meeting on Saturday. Great job. I was telling a few people that was probably one of the best opportunity meetings that I've been a part of. It was just electric. The group was great. They were very excited. They were interactive. They were engaged. Came out, I don't know if it was a bunch of warm market people or just people that were predisposed and they were properly introduced to the meeting before the meeting. And I don't know how many guests we had total, but it was probably, did you count how many guests?
I don't know.
You've seen The Godfather. Forgive me. My kids speak when they should listen. Who had guests, I guess? Let's do it. How many did you have? 2? Okay, so that's 5.
We had 2.
Okay, 7.
I counted 23.
You counted 20, okay. 23 guests.
Yeah.
Okay,
There
that's
may have
probably.
been some that went in late, but that's what I
Okay, so we had, and Thomas, how many did we have in here?
76.
Okay, so we had 76, and did that include me?
Yes.
Okay, so 76, 23, that's 90,
99.
99.
Always around.
I got 99 problems. But attendance ain't one of them. Now, what I was telling a couple of people was when and we're very close, okay, we're not there yet, but when we can have a big event every Saturday where it's like a fast start school, not just a super Saturday, a fast start school every Saturday, that's where this thing is going to really be buzzing. Okay, that's our goal, but it's not going to happen on accident. Okay, a lot of things, not a lot, but a few adjustments need to be made. Okay, because getting people to show up. Okay, nothing I like more is coming out of the meetings, the op meeting, and then seeing these little pockets of teams and people are game planning, they're talking, they're just introducing their new people. People have that bright-eyed, bushy-tailed feeling, and especially it's great if I'm seeing 2 things, right? And this is an attendance principle. Number 1, I'm seeing, new faces. Okay, I'm seeing people I don't know. I'm seeing people that were in the op meeting and they've come back. I've seen people that came into the office during the week and they've come back. I see their picture on Telegram and they're back at the meeting. Oh yeah, I seen you, Roddy. Yeah, what's your background again? Alabama tax. Okay, yeah. And I see a new face. But also, I'm seeing the same people. Because if we don't have retention, you don't have attendance. So I have to see the same old people. Oh, where's Abby? Why isn't she here today? Where's Alexis? Where's Richard? Where's Robert? Give it up for Robert, guys. What a warrior. Back in the office later that day. Stay home. Anyways, so new faces and old faces. Okay, that's attendance. And then when you start having a team, right? You're sitting together, you're doing stuff afterwards, you're going to eat, you're setting appointments, right? It's not, here's the thing that differentiates people that capitalize on the meetings and people that don't, is what you're getting from the meeting. This is not entertainment, and it's not to show up just to show up. Obviously, yes, you have to show up. You have to build a consistent habit, but we have to do some things now. So we have some new people here, that's why I wanted to kind of make this a little interactive, okay, in the meeting, which is good. Okay. What was your name again?
Ali.
Ali?
Yeah.
I say it right?
Yeah.
Is it Ali? Like an O or Ali with an A?
You know,
It's like my son, man. He just can't give me an answer. I'm good?
It's ALA.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. All right, so what's the purpose of Saturday? If I tell you what's the purpose, again, there's two main functions, but if I said what's the number one purpose of Saturday, what is it?
get people out.
Okay, that's the number two, but that's right, so you're not wrong here. Okay, so get new people out. Why do you want to get new people out on Saturday? Okay, because I have an option, right? So I'm going to do a meeting that, right? And Tia, what do people say about my meeting? I just need to hear this again. It was a rough morning for me, so I need some encouragement. Go ahead. No, but really say this because it's important.
They say Shaq is amazing, has the best presentation skills they've seen in their lives.
I'm charismatic. What'd you say? I wrote it down. I just want to. Okay, and I'm not saying in a funny way. I hear the exact same thing about Saturday training. That was life-changing, it was inspiration. I'm talking actually the meeting that's going on in here.
Right.
Man, Samir, energy, intensity, education, I got so much value, I can't wait to come back. Wow, that was incredible. The same exact parallel here. So you can bring people to a meeting that I'm going to do, okay? And if it's whoever helps me in the first part, if it's Bao, generally Tur, and me, we're going to do a great job, right? So yes, bring guests. But what's the number one function of Saturday? Okay, and this is why we're going over this, because a lot of people, we don't do this. And that's why it's getting lost, and we have a lot of new people, so we need to be refreshed and reminded. Ms. Smallwood, you know what the number one function of Saturday is?
Just, I guess, apply new knowledge, like get new ways to do stuff and apply it.
How? Apply it how?
And like making sales, recruiting people,
Okay.
just being in the field.
Okay. You're right on. I mean, you're just circling the wagon here. Setting appointments. Okay. So, what we used to do, Xander, when I first started in the business, we'd have Saturday training, and Saturday training was your real team. That's what we always called it. Saturday training is your real team. Okay, because there's a lot of stuff going on Saturday. There's sports and kids, and it's the weekend, and Saturday mornings after Friday night. So when we built the business originally, it was easier to get people there on Tuesday or Thursday, whenever we did the meeting. But Saturday was your real team. Saturday, you have to kind of change your life a little bit. Friday night, you're not going out. Friday night, you might have to get a sitter. Friday night, you got to wake up early. Friday night, you got to, sometimes you have to make sacrifices. And, because of the world we live in, the weekends are sacred. Right? And so it was just harder to get people. Okay? And what our RVP did, right? He said, look, we're going to meet Saturday. We have an orientation where we kind of talk about licensing. We break the brand new people for the first time. And then we had Saturday training. Sunday night, we get people there to the office. So we have to come back Sunday night, which was incredibly difficult. Okay, Sunday night, people are getting ready to go back into prison for the rest of the week. They've been on home confinement for 72 hours, and they got to go back in on Monday. Sunday night, there's football, a lot of stuff. But we have to go on Sunday night because that's when our RVP called the meeting, and all we did for 1 hour was set appointments. There was no pep talk. There was no motivation. There was no psychology. It was, you have a list, and we're making calls, and we're setting up the week. Now, granted, this is a different time. We only saw people in the evenings. We didn't have daytime appointments. You really didn't do much on the weekends. And so you had to set up, you had op night on Thursday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. You had to have 2 to 3 appointments scheduled so you can be on your 7 to 8 appointments a week. That's what we did, right? We were driving out, we had to geographically, we're gonna go to Gaithersburg on Monday, and what new recruits you're training, and so Sunday night was key. Okay, so we scrapped that, because when we started running big attendance numbers, 50 people, 60 people, 70 people showing up, what will we notice? We have 50 people on Saturday, and then 12 people on Sunday. And say, once you let them go, they ain't coming back. Now, they'll come back to the next meeting because they love the meeting, but they're not going to come back to set appointments. And we lost all the motivation, all the excitement. And we used to have a running joke, right? When we wouldn't get nothing done after Saturday, and I would tease Samir, Samir would tease me. He'd be like, hey, great training. Let's go to Denny's. Great training, let's go to IHOP. We would joke about that because like it was great, and then people just go out to eat. Did they work? Did they set appointments? Are they packing out your op night? It's great training. We're excited for you, but did you get the work done? Did you get on the phone? Did you call people? Because when you can have this positive peer pressure of people in a meeting, 7, 8 people calling together, no one wants to call on their own. Has anyone ever done things on their own? That's like the worst feeling in the world. You can have a million excuses. Right? Primerica is very similar to like kids. Right? Anybody has kids, like if you bedtime. When you try to put kids to bed, they got literally 1,000 things to do. 1,000. I got to charge my iPad. I got to do this. I got to get your fucking ass in bed. When you have time to set appointments, people have every excuse to leave.
Right.
But you're there, they're excited, they had an hour of training, maybe more. They're inspired, they're motivated. Now it's time to take action, and the leader has to do that work. And so you have to do things collectively. You have to say, hey, and so what are the numbers? Okay, this is now we're starting to teach numbers. What are the numbers? How many appointments should you set on Saturday?
10 to 20.
What are the numbers? 1 per person. So if you have 12 people, you should have 12 appointments. If you have 15 people, you should have 15 appointments. If you have 25 people, you should have 25 appointments. And the team is going to see what the leader does. If the leader says, oh, I got something to do, or I'm going to go eat, I'm really hungry. Right? I mean, who's ever bought a car before? And I used to say this all the time. Who's ever bought a car? Right now you can do it online and they have better ways. But anybody ever go to a dealership and have to spend all day there?
Yeah.
And they know once you leave the lot, the probability of you purchasing a car goes down, right? So we go in, okay, and usually if you're going to a dealership, you're ready to buy. Right or wrong. You're not going to go to a dealership and go through that experience if you're really not in the market. I mean, now there are some maybe times, very few, where you're just thinking about it. But usually if you're thinking about it, you're shopping online and you're kind of surfing the web. If you go into a dealership, you're primed and ready. So I'll never forget this. I went, and this is Lexus, okay? It wasn't, you know, it was, you know, when you go to the higher end dealerships, they're a little bit higher end, right? Like you go to Mercedes, it's an office. I remember because I bought a van before. Toyota, it's a cafeteria, right? It's a different, right? Toyota, Mercedes, right? I'm not saying one's better than the other, just different feel, different market, different closing. So I went to Lexus, and they were putting it on. They were putting it on. Me and my wife was pregnant, right? It was first child. Wife's always pregnant, right? So that's always, wife is pregnant, but pregnant number 1, okay? Small though, why do you laugh? That was the joke you understood. So before ESA, we go to get the bubble, right? We want to get the bubble. So we go in, and I have the perfect out. Okay, wife's pregnant. We're going to say this. We're going to look Because I also know sometimes when you leave, it's like buying something online now. When you leave it in your cart and you leave, they'll reduce the price.
Yeah.
Okay? So I'm like, all right, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna shop, we're gonna get their numbers, then we're gonna get off the dealership, and then they'll lower their price. And so we go, we're negotiating, we're haggling with them, and then I'm like, all right, we're gonna go, and you know, there's certain people you don't take to a dealership. Okay, you don't take my wife to a dealership. You don't take Samir. Those are two people you don't take when you negotiate. They want to pay more than the asking price. Oh, it's $1,000? I thought $1,200 there. Oh, we'll pay $1,200. That's it. So my wife is the same way, right? So I went over the play with her. I was like, look, we're going to leave. We're not buying it today. We're going to use this little, bun in the oven as the excuse. They can't press us. So we're running a play. I'm like, hey, look, she's just not feeling great. She's hungry. And so we'll go, but we'll come back. And this is like, all right, cool. And he goes in under his desk, and he has a fridge
Oh my God.
with all this food. like good food. Like not great food, but it was like, better than the honey bun at a vending machine. It was like food. And I was like, shit. And I was like, stay with the plan. And she's like, oh, thank God, I'm so hungry. Yeah, and we were stuck, and we bought the car. Because now it's 2 against 1. I got this, freaking gluttonous pregnant woman here eating, and I'm just stuck by myself. But this guy was prepared.
Yeah.
He was prepared.
Yeah.
He knew people are going to use these excuses that we need to eat. Oh, I got food for you, so that's what it is here. And he wasn't even unprofessional. He was slick. He was really good. He's like, oh, cool. What do you know? Boom. Water, food, food, like food. And I'm just like, all right, I'm done. I'm going to, And I'm trying to haggle with him, but I've lost all credibility. He made it sick. So, you know what your people are going to do. Some of you guys are having record attendance. Are you capitalizing on the meeting, though? The first part is joy and excitement of having people. The second is moving the people. Okay, now, when we talk about setting appointments, we can do all the training we want to do on it. Okay? We can go through why you need to set appointments, what the qualified market is, what we're going to say, how to say it, how we're going to do it, 3-way text. We can do all of that, okay? The leader's job is to get on the phone. The leader's job is to make contact. Remember, I talked a few weeks ago about a new recruit's willingness to take you out in the field. Now, that is where most people get terrified. And I want you to understand the psychology behind this. Most people cannot set an appointment with their spouse. Most people cannot set an appointment with their parents. You have to do it. I know it's logical and common sense. Of course they're going to set a parent. No. You're feeding your new recruit to the wolves. What did you do? Why do I need to be there? And then someone trying to set an appointment with their spouse, husband or wife or partner, and they get beat up, and then that's it. And you lost somebody. Or you send them to set an appointment with their parents and you don't get on the phone. And I want you to write this down. Do not let your recruits do the dirty work. You do it. Now, after you set 3 to 5, 5 to 10, you're good. Once they get it, they'll get it. And some people, they might be a little quick. They might be quicker with it. They might be able to see 3 or 4, and they see how you provide value, how you ask questions, how you elevate the importance. They see it 3 or 4 times, then they get it. Okay, I just need to get the appointment. I don't use these buzzwords. And I know we have some new people here, so that's why I want to ask this too. So, show of hands. Who knows what stump the recruit is? Hand up, bro. What stumped the recruit? Raise your hand if you know it. Raymond, you don't know it?
Not at all.
Jen never taught it to you, right? You know what it is? Okay, Robert, what stumped the recruit?
Putting too much pressure on them in the beginning, information overloading their brain. What they did.
That's what Jen taught you.
Yeah.
Huh? You know what stumped the recruit is? Cheryl and Don never taught you that? Not me. Cheryl. Ali, you don't know what stumped the recruit is? Okay, this is good. I'm glad that we've gone through this. Okay. So, when we go to set an appointment, okay, and this is very important, right? These first appointments that you're setting with new people, they make or break people, right? You need an appointment setting business, man. If you have people setting appointments every week, you're good. Okay? And in the beginning, you're going to have to fight people and drag people, and that's very normal. Okay? But if your part-timers, especially that come to meetings, can set appointments, your business is going to go through the roof, right? You know, we were at the convention, and Willie paraded his team up there, and he has a millionaire philosophy, and there was only, 6 points in there. One of them was setting appointments. Okay? So something that you need to master. Not learn, not get good, master. You need to be a 10 out of 10. You need to know these things. Okay? So, Chandel, why don't you explain it in a little psychology?
So a lot of times recruits will be like, yeah, I can set the appointment. So then you want to just like role play and say, okay, what would you say?
Okay.
And then,
Right? So, that's a perfect answer, right? She said, sometimes the recruits, they think they know what to say to the appointment, right? Oh, I got it, I know what to say. Okay? And they might know 50 or 60%. So, they say, okay, sure, what would you say? And you role play with the recruit. And you'll hear, and some of them have, like 70 or 80%, and it's very refreshing to hear what they're gonna say. Right? Now you can hear some off the wall stuff too, right? You can hear it like they're like, oh yeah, so I remember, you were telling me about your insurance policy. Not that that's off the wall, but I want to take a look at it. Do you have life insurance? And part of me likes that. Like they're like gonna just ask them about policies and insurance, and that's great too. Okay. Hey, I was I'm training with a financial company. We sell these products. I wanted to see if you wanted to buy them. You hear a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Right? And it's all great stuff. And it's all feedback on how you're training this person. So Chandel said, we'll role play, right? And so I'll role play with you on the recruit. So I'll say, okay, I'm gonna call hi, my friend from work. Hey, hi, remember I was telling you I'm doing insurance, and I know you and your wife have a new kid, and can I sit down? Right? A new recruit would say something like that, and then what do you do?
just give them like an objection.
Okay.
What do you mean? What is it for?
Yeah, okay. So this is very important, okay? So I'm gonna role play with the recruit, they say it, and then you're gonna give them an objection, right? Like, what is this about? You don't say it in a mean way, you say what is this about? What type of insurance? And then, the confident recruit starts getting stumped.
Yeah.
Okay, they start saying, oh my gosh, I don't know how to answer this. How long is it gonna be? Does my wife need to be there? Where can we do it? And then the one I always use is, let me talk to my wife and I'll call you back. And what is the person role playing? You ask your new recruit to do this, they say what?
Okay.
Sure. And then they're happy. Like, yeah, I can do that. Did I answer them properly? And then I'll ask them, I said, did you get the appointment? Yeah. I said, when's the appointment? And I don't say it meanly. I'm saying, when's the appointment? Let's put it in our calendar. They're going to call me back. And I'll do it. And then they realize, okay, I don't know how to set an appointment. And then I'll sandwich, I'll say, hey man, you said a lot of things right. Let me give you a couple tweaks, but what if I can show you, this is very important, what if I can show you a way where you get 100% of every call you make, you're gonna set appointments. If I showed you exactly what you need to say, where every time we're gonna set an appointment. Then you give them the script. Then you show them, because now they're ready to receive it. Because they have been stumped. And sometimes they'll say things like I said, insurance, say, hey, we don't want to say insurance because if you say insurance, that's a fear word. You don't want to say investments because when you say investments, they think I don't have any money. And what you're always going to get is what I gave to you. Let me check with my spouse and I'll call you back. That's called the great American response. And then I go through the role play and I show them how to set an appointment, and then I get on the phone. Now it could be a three-way text, or it could be the triangle offense where they hand the phone off to me, they call, introduce, and then give me the phone, but we're on the phone. Now, with new recruits, and I know it's a different time because there is a lot of methods to communicate with people. Okay, you have Telegram, you have text messages, you have social media. You obviously can call people. Some people do some sort of video, phone calling. What is the maximum, not maximum, what's the ideal time between talking to all of your people? Right, like how long should it go before if you have a new recruit, do you talk to them Saturday and then just call them Friday night and say, hey, are you coming? No, I'm being serious.
No.
We have to teach these things.
No.
Every day.
Huh?
Every day.
Every day might be a little much. I'm not saying it's not. I mean, depends on the person, right? Right. Some people, if they call you back, they're very engaged. You can talk to them more frequently. But what do you think the maximum time that you should go without some sort of text message, checking in, whatever? Hey, we have that appointment. Huh? 24. Yeah, that's it. 48. Meaning, if I called Saturday, when's the late? Monday? Okay, so that's what, 48, 2 days? I'm asking. We used to do it on the phone. I mean, I would call almost every day, especially for my guys that are like the people that were locked in. I talk to them every day. Now, maybe you can shoot a text, obviously you see if they're logging in on Telegram, but you want to have some personal response. You should be able to manage your 7, 8 people. You should be able to manage your 30, your 12 people, your 15 people. We had to do this with 30, 40 people, calling them all the time, texting them all the time, some sort of communication. And we, and I'll end with this, we will get a lot better, and our environment will get a lot better when we have licensing class here. Okay? So that, I'm gonna let you know when those dates are in August. That will be, huge in terms of how we run our Saturdays with having people here, us opening up that meeting, licensing, telling people to stay here for 2 days, you guys being able to take those guys for lunch. But remember, one thing you guys have to implement, one thing I want to see, starting as quickly as this Saturday. I'm not saying you have to be, it is a gathering, it is entertainment, it is fun, but you guys have to set appointments after training. Okay, so if you can do those two things, if you can get your, number one, setting appointments, and number two, getting people to bring people on Saturday, running some incentives, people, their first time back, it doesn't have to be, oh, we should bring the jar back. The jar doesn't work. Okay, I know you guys are saying it works, but maybe you have an individual incentive with somebody, hey, if you come back, I'll give you a $10 gift card. Or you can do these things individually, test to see what works, but if someone brings 5 people back their first time, or 3 people, maybe you give them a little Chipotle card for $15 or 10, something. I mean, you never know what will work. But if people can bring people back their first time to the op meeting, and then you guys set appointments, when we have our 99 people here, because I was just talking to Samir about this, when we get to 200 people showing up in one location, I mean, we're top 20, 30 in the entire company of people showing up in one spot, okay? And I don't know where we would be, but that takes a collective effort, and we have to do the right things, all right? So Samir's gonna come up and finish out the meeting. Let's give it up for Samir.